happen if you didn't care anymore? What would happen if on your journey of moving forward, you left what's behind and you stepped as a new self? You no longer worried about what others say. That's going to be a good discussion. In today's video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. My name is Kanchefu, and if you're new here, make sure you press subscribe. On this channel, we talk about what happens after therapy, what happens after counseling, what happens after treatment. But that also includes your personal development. But if you're not new here, welcome back. My name is Kanchefu, so let us begin. On your journey of moving forward, on your journey of achieving something, on your journey of attaining your goals, the things you've written down, the things that you believe, I've got this. There's a moment of time that you are going to disassociate yourself from others. Instead of worrying of what others think, or what others say, or what others may believe about yourself, you enable your self-courage, your self-esteem to carry you through. That means you can begin to take actions as that person has achieved, believing in what you're saying. That means you're following the truth of who you are. And that ultimately means you're reenacting and retelling your story. As that transition takes place, it's quite seamless because now you're no longer in a place that you once were. You have told your brain multiple times, this is the goal, these are the steps, this is what I have to do every single day. Your brain's okay, cool, no problem, but don't you remember when we did this? And you remind yourself, yes, I went through that, I said this, I had that experience, but that doesn't define me. Oh yeah, okay. And your brain's like, okay, it doesn't define me. So instead of ruminating on that past, you take action. You take your first step. You take your 100th step. But regardless, you are writing a new story about who you are. You are reenacting that story of your newfound truth, of your personal development, of the person you want to become. What happens when you stop caring? It's not about when you don't care about anyone else, you hate everyone, no. The discussion we're having is when you move past the point of not being afraid to be yourself. What does that look like? What must that feel like? Do you even think you can do that? For some of you watching this, you're already there. You're just reigniting that fire to say, you know what? I believe in who I am. I'm going to keep moving forward, regardless of what others say, regardless of what my parents say, regardless of what my friends say. I've got a story to live. I've got a story to tell, whether the world is going to know it or whether my workmates are going to know it, whether it's going to impact my university, whether it's going to impact my high school. There's something about me that I believe is much greater than just the life I live. And there's some of you watching this at the beginning of your journey where it's like, I get the feeling that I can change. I get the feeling that things can improve. I get the feeling that maybe there's something out there that I can do, but I just don't quite know. I'm a bit cautious about, people saying, make sure you do the right thing, make sure you follow this certain route. But I feel resistant to it. I don't feel as if it's truly inhabiting who I am. I don't feel as if it's a true expression of who I am. But I'm understanding you, Jerry. On any journey, car journey, plane journey from a baby to an adult, the clock you see around any type of journey you discover, you see there are multiple transition points. Let's make it more specific to the situation. Shifts in your mindset, shifts in your capability, shifts in your attitude, shifts in your belief, shifts in your values. Those four shifts mean that you attach new ideas, new perspectives, new stories of what you think, of what you do, of what you believe, of what you hold to value. As they continue to happen at different times of your journey, you then act as a new person. You then see the world in a different light. You then believe in what you're doing, in the actions you're taking, whether it's a brand new idea and no one else has done it, or whether you're getting help from a mentor, whether you're being encouraged by a coach. Those shifts will take place. This discussion is about that shift of no longer caring. Because I understand this, and I've had a conversation with my clients where we were discussing how do you no longer care about what others think, about what they say, about what they believe is right and what you should do. So I asked them, what do you think? They said, that means I need to work on myself and how I see my work and how I see what I'm doing. That sounds very good and promising. And we went a bit deeper, and then it went into, okay, if you look at yourself and you think, okay, maybe what I'm doing is working because it's produced this. It's made me think of this idea. It's made me bring this other idea in the past to connect here, to bring it further. That sounds as if you're moving forward. And like, okay, yeah, you're right. So there's an element of self-belief, would you say? Yeah, there's an element of self-belief. With the element of self-belief, what can we do with that? We can fuel it up. And if you're feeling up your car, you know you have to do that regularly. So it means to continually encourage yourself. And that sounded like a achievable thing to do. And so how do you continually encourage yourself? And encourage yourself isn't an external thing. It's an intrinsic thing. It's a feeling. It's a belief. It's a set of actions that reaffirm what you're doing is correct, wrong, or right. If it's different for you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you encourage yourself. But because encouragement is intrinsic, meaning it comes from the inside of who you are, you have to believe every single word about you positively. Make it so impactful that what you say about yourself, about what you believe about yourself, is the truth no matter what. Then you're making that transition into no longer caring about anything else. Now, is that something you can relate to? If so, make sure you press subscribe. What would happen if you didn't care anymore? I wonder, if you answer that question right now, answer in your own head. What are you telling yourself? What would that life look like? What would you do and what wouldn't you do? Where would you go and where wouldn't you go? What would happen? What would change? What's that thing you need? As we say in all our discussions on this channel, asking yourself and having that reflection, having that moment to self, opens up exactly what you need. You become more receptive to your own thoughts. You become more self-aware of what is making you care about, oh, is this the right thing to do? Are people going to like it? Am I going to move forward? And you become more aware of, okay, so if that's the case, what can I do about it? That's where we are. That's the conversation. That's how I'm going to leave it. What would happen if you didn't care? I'm curious to know. And if you'd like to have a discussion with me about what would happen and what that would look like and where can we take it, make sure you fill out the self-referral form in the description and my team will get back to you to book a call. My name's Kanchefu. I hope you've enjoyed today's discussion. If you have, make sure you press subscribe. Share this video with someone you know so that they stop caring about what others think, about what is wrong, are they doing the right thing, is everything perfect, to help them find that transition point. My name is Kanchefu once more. Have a good day, morning, night, or evening, for wherever you're in the world watching this. I'll see you next week for our next discussion.